Solid phase extraction is widely used to purify and concentrate samples prior to analysis. A solid, often but not always silica-based, is packed into a syringe-like cartridge. This is known as the stationary phase. A common procedure is to chemically bond organic functional groups to the surface of silica, one example being the octadecyl or C18 group. Non-polar organic substances are attracted by van der Waals forces at these points. This concentrates them on the column. They are then washed off the solid support by a suitable solvent and out through the bottom of the column, a process known as elution. An alternative approach is to remove the interfering substances on the column and let the sample of interest run through. Here the cartridges are incorporated into a manifold. This is connected to a vacuum pump which speeds up the extraction process by drawing the liquid sample through the stationary phase. You may also encounter the stationary phase in the form of flat discs or an array of 96 well plates which are used for tiny volumes of sample. What you have been watching so far is an initial step whereby the column is conditioned. The octadecyl centres tend to clump together. The analyst here is passing a solution of formic acid in methanol through the column, which opens up the C18 groups, allowing for more effective capture of the analyte. Next, the column is flushed through with water to remove as much methanol as possible. This is important as methanol is going to be used in the elution step later on. Now we begin the extraction. The sample is siphoned into the column via a plastic tube. You'll also notice that although we're only showing one cartridge here, there is in fact space for others to run simultaneously. Note the flow rate into the column remains steady at about 5 drops per second at this stage. The waste passes through the column into a trough. Again, note the rapid flow rate. Once our sample has passed through the column, the tube is removed. A few taps to make sure all the sample has passed through, and now we move on to the elution stage. The glass collection vessel is thoroughly cleaned and a plastic housing containing a collection tube has been inserted. The elution solution is added. You'll notice the flow rate is much slower in this step. This is to optimize the recovery of the analyte. One example of the use of solid phase extraction is drug testing in sports. An athlete's urine is passed through a C18 silica column that retains steroids and other organic molecules, whereas polar and ionic substances pass straight through. The retained compounds are then eluted using a solvent such as hexane. This solvent would then be evaporated and the residue dissolved in the minimum volume of solvent required for analysis using chromatography.